Hi everybody, it's Wayne Johnson. We're here with Wednesdays with Wayne, presented by Outlaw Wings. Our very first podcast, number one actually, you could say. This is 2020. Going to be our first Outlaw season. Looking forward to it. First day that we actually fired engines today, so felt good about that. Got my good buddy Pop Bottles here. That's what we've always called him. Probably known Pop Bottles here probably 30, 35 years. He's probably one of my oldest friends. That's why I wanted to have him on first. He's actually traveled with me a lot, racing throughout the years or whatever. And we're just going to tell a little bit, talk to him about a few stories maybe that he's got. I don't know what he's got. We're just going to see. We're winging this for the first time. So we're going to bring Slip, one of the mechanics on the race car here in a few minutes or whatever. But Greg, I'm glad you could come and be the part of the very first time, man. Give me your thoughts on what's going on here.
I'm excited, man. I mean, you and I have always talked about doing a full outlaw deal. I mean, even back in the late 90s. I mean,
when we were just pups. Never dreamt that we'd be doing it at 48, right, but thanks to good car owners, Todd and Kelly Carlisle, are giving me the opportunity to do this. Get pretty damn excited about it, to be honest with you.
I bet you are. I bet you are.
For sure. Right. Charlie Fisher engines, Maxim chassis, Weld wheels, Outlaw Wings, of course. Just a few of the sponsors on the 2C car or whatever. Pop Bottles, let's go back maybe, years ago. You got any stories you want to tell, or
PG ones?
They have to be. Well, I guess they don't have to be, but I would prefer they stay PG at the
moment. We got plenty of racing stories. I guarantee you.
I'm sure you do.
I can remember you and I used to leave the salvage at noon on Saturdays and drive all the way over to Little Rock and race for Bobby Sparks. Get in the truck and drive all the way back home that same night. So.
Yeah, we've done a lot of traveling. I'd work all day on Saturday. I shouldn't say all day. Work till noon on Saturday. Dad would let me off, and we'd drive from Oklahoma City to Little Rock, race at I-30 Speedway with Bobby Sparks on Saturday nights. And as soon as the race were over, if you've ever been to Little Rock, it's midnight, 1 or 2 in the morning. Turn around, drive back home, be home by daylight the next day.
That's a fact.
Me and Pop Bottles did that a lot, but
2 years.
2 years that's about right. But lots of travel stories, Pop Bottles actually raced cars himself. Did some 100-inch cars back in
late
90s at Oklahoma City. Open wheel without a wing. His brother raced. He raced everything, actually, stock cars, everything growing up.
I started out with a factory stock, and I raced it a couple times, and then it just didn't float my boat. It wasn't like getting in an open wheel car and mashing the loud pedal there and getting thrown back in the seat.
For sure. He's been around a long time. He's worked for a lot of people. He's been crew chief for a few teams. I know he worked for Aaron Berryhill,
Don Young, Randy Fowler's kid.
He's getting old. He's getting forgetful. One of the reasons I want to have Pop Bottles on, and that's what I call him, Pop Bottles, and that's what everybody calls him that's close friends to him. But his name is Greg Porter. But Greg was been going through some health issues for about the last 10 years, and he's a really close friend of mine. That's why I wanted him to be on the very first episode. But I still want some more stories, man. Come on, tell me something. Tell me something about what we've done or went.
I know we were racing Speed Week over at Kellyville, and we had a crappy draw, really crappy draw, and didn't quite get out of the heat race, so we had to start on the pole or the outside front row of the B feature, and a 2-barrel was starting on the pole, and he had you pinned up against the wall, wouldn't let you get on the racetrack, and he ended up running over the front end and it stripped the pitman arm.
lining up. I remember that. Yeah, that was a
Yeah,
we were just
didn't
lining
even
up.
get a green flag.
That was in Bobby Sparks' car. Actually.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was.
Yep.
And I remember running out there to the infield, and you was banging on his head, and they pulled you out, and I poked him in the eye.
You poked him in the eye with your
In the
finger?
eye with my finger. Drive that sucker now, bud.
That's a pretty good story. Yeah, for sure. You know, there's so many stories that, like I say, we've been going to these races together for 30 years, and you know, he worked for our family. He worked for our family's business. He's known my brothers, my dad. You know, there was heck, I guess there was a time that he actually probably ran one of our business, because I'd run off, go racing, and
Yep.
you know, he just had to stick around and take care of one of the businesses. But like I say, he's not getting to travel much right now. He's doing the dialysis, doing dialysis 3 days a week, and so he's not getting to travel much. But we're praying that he gets that all fixed up, and here later, maybe this year, gets to go into some races. That'd be awesome. Definitely, he's going to be at Lawton.
Absolutely.
That's 70.
And definitely, let's see, July will actually be 2 years that the cancer's been in remission.
So that's awesome.
So
That's really awesome.
and then I have to make the 2 years cancer-free to be on a donor list for kidneys. So
You still got a little bit of time to go. But anything else you want to add, Pabos? I mean, you didn't really say
man.
much about.
there's so many stories, dude. In 35 years, I mean, I can remember we went over to Smoky Mountain Racetrack in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Atomic.
No, Atomic was the second night. Smoky Mountain was the first night. It was a 2-day show.
Okay, I don't
And
know.
we absolutely stunk at Smoky Mountain. And it was real kind of a clay shell racetrack. Just couldn't, I mean, it seemed like we skated all over the racetrack. We left there and went to the car wash. Got to washing the car. We got to kind of arguing about stuff, and next thing,
Me and you arguing? Nah,
you and
that
me
never
and
happened.
little Bud, before you know it, we all had to go into our own little corners, and you said, we're just going to change the motor. Okay. So we pulled the motor out. And he said, I think we'll just change the rear end. By God, here we go. We're changing the rear end, changing the front end.
I think I remember this right in the car wash bay.
In the car wash
at 3
bay.
or 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh no, son, we didn't load the car till the sun was coming up.
Yeah, I remember this now. Yep.
And then we went over to Atomic. Terry Gray's gonna kill everybody over there, and we just put a whooping on them. Like, drove off. They didn't lapped up to like 3rd or 4th place. I remember.
Yeah, I remember Atomic. Atomic's no longer there. They actually tore it down. I believe they don't even have races there anymore. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that race well. Now that you brought that back up, Jason Sides was there.
Yep.
Terry Gray,
G-Dub.
Gary Wright. Yeah, we did. We were really good that night. It's one of those deals that we struggled so bad, and I was so mentally beat from the night before because we were horrible. That
because there was not very many places we went that we were not competitive, and we just flat stunk. I mean,
and I just felt like there was something wrong with the car, so we disassembled it, put it all back together. Was up all night, probably slept a couple hours the next morning, and went and raced and won the race. But with that being said, we wasn't very old back then. We could stay up all night and do that stuff. Now, speaking of that, we got guys that are younger that can do that. Or I'm not doing it anymore. I'll do the best I can, but I'm not staying up all night working on these race cars. I love them, and I'm in the shop today. Cars are right there behind us. We've been working on cars all day. Been working on cars all winter, trying to get everything ready to go for Volusia here in about a week. But speaking of that, Connor Nelson, which everybody, you're going to notice when we go through these weeks of this thing.
Oh, Slippy.
Just about everybody that hangs around with me gets a nickname. And Slippy, Connor Nelson's his name. He is the car chief on the 2C, has been for about the last 7 or 8 years. One of the most loyal employees or friends or whatever you want to say. I could probably ever, that I
Absolutely.
could say that I have. He's the hardest working dude that
He works his tail off.
I can honestly say that probably has ever worked for me. And when he came to work for me, he didn't really know a lot, but he's learned. He's willing to learn, and I was willing to teach him. And if you're willing to learn, and as much as he was deserving of
Right.
being taught.
Absolutely.
So now there's not anything he can't do. He can take these things apart, put them back together, just about do everything.
Right.
I don't know where he's at. He's supposed to be over here where he can get on for the second part of the segment or whatever.
Slip.
Where you at, boy? See, he's working. Imagine that.
Right.
But I don't know. Maybe he don't want to get on TV today or the whatever you want to call it, TV, internet.
He'll be right back.
But no, we pretty excited about this year. Good buddies at Outlaw Wings, furnishing the wings. We got a new wing that we're going to debut at Volusia that I don't think it's ever been done. It's something that I come up with, and David and Russell there at Outlaw Wings actually. I spent the day with them doing the design work, and then they actually manipulated it and made it work because I wasn't there for that part of it. But it was my design to decide what I wanted to do. So check that out at Volusia if you get a chance. I think Slip's back now. You back, Slip? You're up, son.
You're
Come
up,
on, get
bud.
over here. Come on. We're gonna talk to Slip. We're going to talk to Slip about upcoming season here. Don't slide back too much, bud. You got to get over here where you can be seen. God dang, you're dirty.
We're working.
Not working. So, we clip it on there anyway, buddy. So, we've been preparing for about, I don't know, I'm going to say, well, ever since Volusia. Ever since Charlotte, we've been prepping, but we're getting pretty close. We fired engines today. The primary car for Volusia today. Sounded pretty good. Didn't really have any issues there. Slip, what do you think? How are you feeling about the upcoming part of the season, and what are you looking forward to, or what are you not looking forward to, or? You're gonna be like famous, man. Look at you. Look at somebody. He might get a girlfriend over this deal.
I'm just looking forward to going to a couple new tracks that I've always wanted to go to. A lot of tracks we've been to, just different. Just different. I'm excited for different.
Well, what's going to be different?
Just the racing atmosphere, I should say. We've been doing 360 so long it gets kind of stagnant.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's
do
nothing
this-
wrong with 360 racing. 360 racing strong. A lot of good racers. The thing that I'm looking forward to, and it's going to sound probably something we talked about earlier, but normally with the group that we're going to race with, which was the World of Outlaws, Mike Hess does a really good job with getting the program ran through. I don't ever really know that they race more than past about 11 o'clock anytime. So I'm looking forward to that. Those 2 and 3 o'clock are getting over having 5 support series racing with you in a night is that's the part I'm looking forward to. It's just trying to get out of there early, get these cars washed, get back to the motel, get a good night's sleep, and get on to the next one. So, but like I say, Slip has worked for me now for about 8 years. Man, he's done it all. He's been started very, very, very bottom.
The bottom.
He started out as a tire guy, cleanup guy, whatever you want to say, shitter tank guy when we had to tote her home.
Still the shitter tank guy.
But I do too. Don't let him fool you. I'll empty the tank. It ain't a problem. But we got another guy coming along. Going to help us here. That's Australian. We call him Bush Kenny. He's from Australia, and we call him Bush Kenny because he lives in the bush. And we have another guy that helps us a lot, and we call him Standard Kenny. So same way as like we talked about before. We got a lot of nicknames for everybody.
Everybody's got a nickname.
But what else you got to say, Slip? You got anything you want to add to this? You're kind of quiet. You're a quiet fella anyway.
Quiet guy anyways. I don't talk much.
That's all you got. That's all you're looking forward to. Well, I'll ask you a question. What racetrack are you looking forward to getting to this year?
Grand Forks.
Grant? You've never been to Grand
Never
Forks?
been to
Oh,
Grand Forks.
okay. Well, I never thought about that. You're not really in the picture here, man. You ain't gonna get a girlfriend or nothing not being in the
That's
picture. But Grand Forks. So I didn't realize you'd never been to Grand Forks. Well, I'd been there a few years ago. I think we been back when we ran NCRA. We ran Grand Forks, and then we ran the Gum Out series at Grand Forks. And she is definitely a little bull ring, high banked.
That Peevely, the two I have.
You haven't been to Peevely either.
Never been.
He's to go do the Ironman 55. Okay, well, what about this year? Since we started traveling and doing more 410 races, you got to go to Port Royal. You got to go to the Grove last year with a 360, but then you got to go back with a 410. Did you get to go anywhere that you hadn't been before at the end of the year here, other than Port?
No, I think we've been to just about everywhere else. Where else did we go? Yeah, I think just Port.
Port was the only one. That was a new race for you. Well, Port's
big half mile.
Big half mile, but it's also changed a lot throughout the years. So it's been a long time since I've been there. This is my first time back. Oh, I'm going to say to Port Royal in about 15 years or so. Back in the Gum Out days. They've done a lot of work there and really made that a really nice racetrack. And if you follow them online, you know, they're doing a lot of great so I don't know what else. Trying to think here, or Slippy. What else?
I don't got very many PG stories to tell.
Well, if you guys are wondering and want to know how he got his name Slippy,
People always.
when I lived in Iowa, I lived on a big hill. The shop was out behind the house, and there was a big hill down to the shop and so forth. We were getting ready to go to Florida, of course. There was about 6 inches of snow on the ground, and we were loading the trailer. The trailer stood up behind the shop, and you had to actually make a track up the hill a little ways to get to the trailer. And we were loading the trailer. He was carrying bolts in, or I don't remember what it was, but he was carrying stuff out, loading it in the trailer. And about 5 times periodically during the day, you hear, holy shit, and you hear a crash. Well, he slipped and fell down and dropped everything in the snow. When the snow melted, he found some stops and some bolts, and I don't remember what all we found. Didn't find it, that day in the snow. But I didn't actually give him his nickname. A buddy of mine, Doug, that lived in Iowa, was there that day, and that's how Slippy got his nickname, and it's just stuck for the last 8 years, if you can imagine. But that's kind of the Slippy story. Slip, how do you?
It's actually weird when people call you by my first name.
Really?
Yeah. There's a few people that do, and it's weird.
Well, let's go back. We'll start. We got one more. I got a story of Slip, since he's not going to talk much. So when Slippy first started working for me, I was looking for a guy, and Wayne Hudson has passed away in the last year or so, 2 years. Was a really good friend of mine from Washington, and he called me. He said, "I got a kid out here that's willing to work. He's, and all this stuff. You ought to give him a shot." So I said, "Well, have to call me." So Slip calls me, and I asked him, I said, how to do this, how to do this, that, and the other, or whatever. Well, man, I'm telling you right now, when I hung up the phone, I thought, man, I've got the guy that can do it all. Well, shit, he's going to be able to come into this team and basically just start running it. Well, he showed up. I flew him to Iowa, picked him up at the airport, took him to the house. First started working, I was like, oh my God. He didn't know what a 9/16 wrench was, I didn't think. Anyway, I brought home, and I could see his work ethic. He wanted to learn and try and all that. I sat him down and I said, listen, I'm willing to learn, I'm willing to teach, but I can pay you what I said I was going to pay you. I got to hire somebody else to do what you said you could do. So we negotiated a deal, and his 8 years later, and he's still here. So he's like part of furniture. he's a good guy, good employee, good friend. Probably like my son now. I won't say that because I don't think I'd have him legally for that. But he's a good guy, and I'm happy that he's getting to go on this outlaw tour with me. Whether you know, we'll see. Just gonna see what happens. I feel like that our team's ready. Ready. Feel way trying to do or tried to do, but I think we can be competitive. I think if everything goes right, I feel like we can win a race. All the stars got to line up to make that. Our goal is right now just to go out and be competitive and see what we got. I really believe we can run well, but he's not very fun. He's sitting there looking at the ceiling and everything else. Well,
Not my type of deal.
I want to keep this nice and short. 20 minutes is what they're telling me that we need to be about to make these things work. But so we're going to get off here quick, and I guess we're going to see you guys at Volusia. Thanks for listening in. This is the very first Wednesdays with Wayne podcast. So look forward to seeing you guys every week. Adios.